What's poppin', y'all? I've been ignoring talking about this guy for such a long time, but so much has happened and so much foolery, and I genuinely think he might be the worst streamer, arguably, of all time to reach this level. Now, I don't think about it from an entertainment perspective. Yeah, this guy's really, really entertaining if you're just looking at it from a content, like what the hell is going on, keeping someone's attention for hours upon hours a day. Yeah, he's definitely good at that. But there's just something about this new age of streaming that it's not fun anymore. These people aren't having fun with others. Like there was another era of IRL streaming back then where it was a lot more fun. Now, were they still doing a bunch of foolery? Yes, but I don't think they were as insulting. I don't think they were as disrespectful. And I think overall, if they were, let's say they weren't messing with people, and if they did, it was like in a way that was endearing and they could get out of. But this stuff is it's just so disrespectful now. The most recent case that made me say this is this guy was supposed to be at the UFC event and he was going to meet Donald Trump. Now, the reason this guy's even going to meet Donald Trump is because Dana White, who's really cool with Aiden Ross and also really cool with Nelk, he is really, really close with Donald Trump. So he can introduce people to Donald Trump. That's how Nelk got in with Donald Trump. And that's how these other people like Sneeko, like Academics is a Rumble connection. So Rumble has a deal with Trump where they are going to stream all of his debates and stuff. So that's where that Academics connection to Donald Trump came in. So someone is already sticking their neck out and saying, hey, you should meet this guy. Right? When it comes to this N3on dude. He's like 20 years old or something like that. 19 or something. Not entirely sure. It's something between 18 and 20. So what happens next is this guy decides to go on a stream and say that, I'm going to play you guys the clip.
I'm going to walk up, I'm going to talk my to Trump, and then it's going to be a very good experience. And I'm going to talk my I don't care if the Secret Service is there. I don't give a I'm going to talk
So some people might say, oh, yeah, this is pretty funny. How is this funny in any capacity? Number one, so some people will say, oh, it's just, he didn't say a threat or anything like that. And yeah, sure. But ignoring that, let's just say, oh, he was just speaking his mind, right? He got banned from the event. Dana White even gave his own comments on him, which I'll play that clip. I'll see if it doesn't get copyrighted.
When you start saying stupid shit like that, yeah, you're probably going to get busted up and thrown out of here, making threats and talking dumb shit, looking for clout.
I believe he said he was going to...
I don't care what he said.
I think he said he was going to confront Donald Trump.
I don't care what he said. Did he?
Well, he wasn't able to.
He's this fucking tall, too. You know that? Fucking punk.
And I think this was all fair. The dude got banned from going into the event. And then he later on issues an apology, which I'll play you guys right now.
I want to start off by, apologizing to the UFC, Donald Trump, and Dana White for everything I said. And, I actually, that night when I said all that shit, and the problem with me is I put the camera on and I black out and I don't realize, and I actually started to realize it, it hit me in the head, Chad. It hit me in the head that I'm really doing too much, too much. It's not even worth it. I talk too crazy and I don't even realize it. And it's I don't even try to get the clip. It's not even that. I don't even try to go for the clip. It's just, I just say whatever the fuck I want, and I feel like I'm behind a screen when in reality I'm in person. Someone could literally just come and just shoot me in the head, but I don't understand it, and it's But I'm not even looking at the chat. I don't care if y'all, what the fuck y'all are saying. But I want to sincerely apologize. I didn't mean anything I said, and it should have never come out of my mouth in the first place, and I take ownership. That was the first time it was 3 a.m. I literally went down at Red Rock, and he called me down, and I face-to-face apologized to him like a man, and it was really good, and he accepted it. And yeah, that was the first time I've ever had to apologize to someone in person.
I don't think this guy's apology should be accepted. I don't think he's going to learn anytime soon. And the reason why I got to circle back to the Trump thing, because some people will say, oh yeah, well, what if he just doesn't like Trump and, he just wants to let him know his genuine opinion? That's not what this is about. This is about you making someone else look bad. Let's say me and you, right, are close friends. We're cool. And I know Kanye West, right? Let's suppose. Or let's say I know Drake, right? And I'm going to introduce you to Drake. And I'm like, hey, Drake, I've got this guy. You should really meet him. He's a streamer. He does his own thing. He's a young guy. And then you meet Drake. You shake hands with Drake and you're like, yo, Drake, you're a clown. I don't know why anybody messes with your music. You just talk your shit. Drake is going to look at me like, yo, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, why would you, like, I thought we were cool. So now you're jeopardizing the relationship that I have with Drake, in this case, Dana White has with Donald Trump, because of your behavior and because you decided to be disrespectful and do something that, like, you could do it on your own time, but why would you even want to meet the guy if you're going to do that? And then saying it in front of Secret Service, like, yo, they got to take this stuff seriously. And this is recurring behavior from this guy. I mean, keep in mind, this guy like faked his death at 15 or so, which most of us knew not to do something like that at 15, but he went through that. I think he might have done it twice, if I'm not wrong. Done a bunch of foolery in the past couple of months. And this is the issue that I have with IRL streaming, which is why I say it's not a fun thing anymore, is these people rolling around with security. I think Fousey really handled this guy well, where he was like aggressive with him and kind of slapping him around. And while I'm not a person that condones violence, there's some people that need it to see reality. And a lot of people say, oh man, this person's a character. Let me tell you this. When it comes to a lot of these live streamers, sit down and think about it like this. What do you think is more realistic? What is more in tune with reality? That a majority of these live streamers are very, very talented actors that can put on a character for 8 hours, 6 hours plus a stream, every single stream for years on end, and then they take off that character and they go back to being their normal selves after, which is a very impressive talent. Do you think they have that talent for acting? Or do you think they're just like that? Let me tell you the truth. They're just like that. There's very few, like there are some streamers maybe that will play it up. Maybe some will, I guess, quote unquote, grift, the ones that have certain views or will say certain views to get views. But a lot of these people, this is how they are on and off camera. They're not very different. Maybe off camera, they're just more obsessed with looking on their phone and seeing what people are saying about them. And I don't think it's healthy for someone to be getting this much in real time feedback. But when you've got security, nobody's going to do anything to you and they just consistently harass people. And then you get positive reinforcement for negative behavior. And this is something that we criticize people like Lil Pump for. We criticize people like Smoke Perp for. We criticize people like Boonk for. We criticize people like who else? Who else was doing a bunch of nonsense back then? And it's just happening again with IRL streaming. I mean, Aiden Ross also put his neck out for this guy. He pretty much put him on, which Aiden Ross is just the ringleader of the whole circus, which, yeah, he's pretty bright. But for example, like look at this guy and then look at Speed, right? Like Speed is, I don't want to say goofy because it might be taken in a bad way. And I think the guy is like pretty funny, but he's just putting on a show. And I think that guy is genuinely like that. But obviously, like he's not going to be barking at people off camera, right? I think he's more normal off camera, but it's not an act that he's putting on. I think he's genuinely this personality. And when he travels and he does in real life streams, it's all in good fun. He's not harassing people. He's not insulting people. Like this N3on dude, a lot of the reason why people find it funny is he's just insulting people. Like he's not saying anything funny. And then he'll be like, oh, my bad, I'm just joking. Where was the punchline? Where was the setup? You just went and called someone fat and ugly and, you know, they should off themselves. It's like, yeah, those three things would potentially be funny if it was said in a funny way, if there was a good setup, if there was some sort of metaphor, but there's none of that. And I get that kids find this stuff funny because it's edgy, but when you're getting to the point like this guy, he's not going to learn unless he loses everything. And even then, I don't think he'll learn. And do I wish for him to lose everything? No. I'm really not the type of person that like celebrates people being deplatformed or anything like that. But I do wish for a reality check to hit him. And I think a lot of these guys need to be vetted. I think streamers, I've met a lot of streamers in general, not IRL streamers. These people are the weirdest group of people I've ever met in my entire life. And you got to understand and think about it. It makes sense, right? If someone's on their desktop 8 to 10 hours a day, that's one thing. Now, if they're on their desktop 8 to 10 hours a day and they have people watching them and they have to entertain them and they're constantly talking to what are ghosts, just like these things on the screen, how do you expect them to be when they're around other people or out in public for people that don't normally live this life? And a lot of it is positive feedback too. So they're constantly getting praised 8 to 10 hours a day, every day. So they also sometimes have this air of superiority because they're streaming, when in the real world, most people don't even know live streaming is a thing. YouTubers, they're a lot more like normal. There's a spread, I would say, like a general distribution. Like maybe some YouTubers are weird like regular people, some YouTubers are really cool like regular people, and some YouTubers are just like in the middle. I think it's a genuine spread, and more people know about YouTube than live streaming. If you tell someone, oh, like kick streaming or like Twitch streaming, a lot of people will have no idea. Like just regular people out in the street, like, huh? Like what? Like you just talk to someone on a camera and you're just, especially older people, they just don't even get it. And I think that's partially what contributes to this. So yeah, I hope this guy gets it together. You can't really use the whole he's young argument when this has been going on for 5+ years. I mean, at one point or at some point, the person's got to grow up or get it together. And fumbling opportunities like this, being on the watch list and saying saying like you don't care about Secret Service. There's just certain stuff that I feel like even criminals wouldn't say, or even people that are moronic wouldn't say. And to just say it, and there's this constant positive feedback that you're getting from saying crazier and crazier stuff, which gets you to the point where you might say something crazy that's a threat and actually get arrested, which has happened to a ton of people. Like, yo, this is in the USA. People are not playing about certain things being said. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Do you mess with this guy? If you do, why? If you don't, why? Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for watching. Peace.